That's our first house when we came. Side note, that was the first night we ever spent on Maui, the senior pastor's house at the time. And then this was our first digs, and it was Dawn and Isabeau was just walking, and I was pregnant with Leo. So lots of stories. I remember Isabeau and Dawn, and Isabeau in a diaper with my sister's turquoise pumps on, and a handbag on her shoulder, walking down this sidewalk, and she got all the way over to there, and a car full of tourists, older people in a convertible, stopped and took pictures of her. So somewhere in somebody's photo album there's an awfully cute little naked baby with a turquoise pumps and a handbag.
This they used as a parsonage for their associate pastor. That was for their senior pastor. This partnership with our congregational church. At the time, it was called Women's Helping Women. It was a organization that provided counseling and guidance for victims and perpetrators of domestic violence.
Hop in real quick. Hop
It's a
in
great
on some
yard
that you
for
remember,
kids, though.
and then we can swap.
Learn to ride bikes, exploring.
So
I don't have many memories here.
Those trees down there were where.
That's where we made our swear club.
All my memories are from VHS. I have a memory of seeing a video of me being a baby and Uncle Keala with the waterbed, and I think with Uncle Benny too, and sucking on a hose to start getting
All right,
water.
to siphon it. That's where
Yeah,
I
to
learned
siphon it.
the
It
word
was
siphon.
right over here, like
Wow.
in this area, and the kid, some of us are hanging out on the stairs. Yep. And then Grandpa's newest VHS that I haven't seen. I didn't see my whole life until the last year, and it's me drawing on a chalkboard in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and me kind of like Little Hallelujah, like I'm standing.
In this house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
see all that footage. It
Yeah,
made me
remember
cry
when we-
watching it.
Remember when we put the chalkboard up there? You said, "Why are you putting that?" Oh, because it'd be good and fun for the kids. And it
I was trying to draw on it. Yeah, and Grandpa's like, "We have an artist."
I agree. Yes. There are
Couple,
so
you
many
got this,
stories
Ricker?
in this house, man.
So something I remember is there's one sec, hold it right there. They're not there anymore. There used to be 2 super big palm trees,
Oh, yeah.
and we would take out all of your utensils and pieces from the house,
That's where they went.
and we would build forts, and we would tie things between the trees and drape sheets over, and it would be raining and crazy, and I feel like that was the first time that my instinct was when it was raining, survival.
Get in a fort.
But then we would just take everything from the house
Yeah.
and put it into the outdoor fort, and then it's also where Dawn got a whip, or it was Leo, for what's the guy with Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
And he or Dawn, we were playing our fort thing, and he whipped it, and it went across my eyes, and I couldn't open my eyes for 20 minutes, and I
You
thought I
once were
lost my
blind.
sight.
Once we're blind, but now she can
Yeah.
see.
That's what I remember.
Amazing.
I remember.
Yes, and Isabeau on those steps over there, when we were doing fireworks, she had a sparkler that got lit and she didn't know what to do. And she was standing there and I backed up into it. And I went, ow!
Or you won't be able, I don't think you'll be able to catch this, but I have this crack on my left toenail, my big toe. That's from, I think I mentioned it in the calendar, I don't know. But we were playing out here with the Bogoyos or the Constantinos, and the ball got kicked down, and then I chased it down to the high street, picked it up, and that panic cry where and came up here, and then you or Auntie Jen was like, "Bobo, your toe's bleeding," and I freaked out, because then you guys were like, "We have to deal with it," and before the blood, I was fine. To this day, I can't, that crack is still there. That crack is that freaking rose
So I've got a sparkler
in your
hole,
butthole.
and It wasn't my butthole.
Oh.
It was my leg. And you got a
Those are
carport.
butthole.
And that's the story.
Nice stories.
We would go around more into the house, but we need to respect the current owner,
Yes.
and they were very clear about that. So
Yeah, so we'll go. We'll go.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, this house was different.
Yeah.
Large
Yeah,
house.
at the shelter at night. I substitute hot.
Child.
Back injuries. Oh, the
Child
school
care.
went on strike when we were here too. Remember that? Yeah. Auntie Frances very involved. Todd and his weed whacking and drag. That was interesting.
We started GUAVA here.
Yeah, this is
Carport.
His first place. That carport.
did we say Sunny was born here?
Not
I
born
did.
here, but okay. There's a creek in the back. Provided forever hours of
Imagination.
imagination and probably was saving grace for all of us. That creek.
There's a park around the corner. That's where I would do like basketball drills with Dad or Larry. I still remember making a goal to make the starting 5 JV team at Alden High School, and then did better.
Yeah.
Came home like, my plan worked, or the plan worked. The school bus stop was right here where we're standing. So we would sit. I don't know if you can show. There's a lot more plants and stuff blocking, but there's 2 big windows, one in the kitchen area, one in the living room. And you could sit there and wait to see the bus pull around the corner, because I didn't like waiting out here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes kids were nice, sometimes
They were.
not nice. Everything felt bigger. Like I swear that the bushes behind Kapu was recording, they felt like they were 20 feet tall. Maybe they cut them back, but I think it might just be that
Everything's overgrown.
we're just.
Which one
bigger.
of you was the one that said they were going to run away and I helped
Me.
you up? Oh yeah.
You told me, okay, let's pack your
Yeah.
suitcase.
We got everything. We got everything ready to run away, and it was night, and we walked out into the carport, and you and I don't know. I remember pointing at the house.
Yeah,
behind
I
you.
walked all the way into their living room.
Yeah.
The house behind us used to be painted darker, and that was like a dare that we would give each other, like how far you could walk into their property without freaking out.
Were you going there because you were going to ask to live there, or?
Yes.
Will you take me?
I went and I remember he was where the old guy was watching a boxing match in his lazy boy, and I looked at the tile floor and I looked at the light on the TV reflecting on the ground. I was like, I don't think it's gonna be any better here, guys.
And you decided that you wanted to live with us.
What a beautiful choice. I'm really glad you chose that. I mean, there's lots. There's White People Stuff. There's the general store across the street. Boiled peanuts, Airheads, Dr. Pepper. Kapu and I would talk about how she would like twist the cap, and if it said you got 1 free Dr. Pepper, we would literally turn around, walk straight back.
We were like, let's cash this now. I don't know if I'm gonna be alive tomorrow, guys.
What about soda inflation? And then Rosie lived next door. Alex's grandma,
Yeah.
and she would give us melted ice cream. And then Felix, her son, who's an older man, but her son, he would have candy in his pockets, and he would like reach over the fence and be like,
I remember that. Anyway. Alright.
this felt a lot bigger. We did Olympics over here. Dad built me a balance beam that was an inch off the ground, and I'd use flour. Mom, the blue swimming pool that we would do.
Oh, I did childcare here.
Yes.
For a very long time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
One of the girls that she first was babysitting is getting married soon.
Sam.
Sam!
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and then it's the first place I had goat.
Yeah, next door.
Next door neighbors. Lots of late night parties with karaoke.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was Christmas time, the Filipino carolers would walk by our house. They didn't know what to do with us.
We were kind of
We were interested.
anomaly in this neighborhood.
In every
When we
neighborhood.
left, I had people told me
They missed us. But we needed to get out.
But who got us out?
It was a period of
We needed to
life.
get out.
Got
But
out of Egypt.
for months. And then my out got a divorce.
And that out.
And then she outed us.
Anyway. All right.
Okay.
Halenani house in the. Wait, what do you want to say? This is the Sandhills house. Sandhills is this entire area. It was kind of like, and Dad, you can correct me, like old money.
From the mid 50s on up.
Okay, so mid 50s on up, this would have been a neighborhood for them. But when we were living in Waia'u, my student government advisor, she had a property here. She heard about me and my family and then said, you guys can move in here. So this, I don't know if you can tell. You can't see around the back, we don't want to invade, but the house goes down a hill and then the property, the second floor below extends around the back like in an L shape. And it was pretty big.
Yeah, really big.
Really big. Like rooms and bathrooms
Like
and play soccer in the living room space with Uncle Bob.
Yeah.
But then the top property was still like them or another renter. Another renter. And we were here for 11 months. Right? Or like a year. Maybe like a year at the most. And the high school I would end up going to is right down that way, Baldwin High School, and then my middle school is down there. And I could walk to middle school. I think I finished my last year at Waia'u.
Yeah.
And then Tori Kim and her sister would pick me up. I'd walk up this hill and pick me up here. Oh, Dad, you're 280 what? 283?
Yeah, I think it was.
284.
284.
284 Halenani Street. And
Had a nice kitchen. It had the only dishwasher, the only house we rented that had a dishwasher.
okay, say it again. 1 second. Thanks, Dad. Okay, go for it.
It was the only house that we rented that had a dishwasher to this day.
To this day. Oh yeah, even with the
We don't have a
models.
dishwasher right now. Yeah, someday though. Yeah, I really liked their little kitchen. It was clean and renovated and had a dishwasher. Yeah.
I remember your guys' bathroom had a furo.
Yes, a very big tub. Yeah. That I
Big
probably
shower.
didn't take enough advantage of.
Yeah, going back, I feel like we would have all
Yeah.
like rationed that out.
Yeah. So
Sunny, do you remember anything from Halenani? Sunny would have been super young. I don't know how old, what, like a year or two?
2 years.
It was Taylor's.
I remember two things. My red wagon
Ah,
that I don't remember who, but I would get pulled around in. Like, I don't remember the name of the wagon, but it was red.
The Red Wing,
Not
or Red Flyer,
Yeah, Radio
Something
Flyer.
like that.
Radio Flyer.
There you go.
And then also, was this house here?
Are you talking about the staircase?
That's the other one I remember.
Yes.
Narnia steps.
There
I
was
remember.
gone.
There was a house right over here.
there was a house that was destroyed,
Yeah.
and all they left was the front steps. And I remember Dawn would put Sunny, like Sunny would climb around there, and then she and Andrea would pose Sunny and I for pictures.
Yeah.
And Andrea was like doing like her photo shoots on these broken down steps, and there's pictures of Sunny with his bowl cut hanging around on those stairs.
Is there that staircase still? No.
I
right?
think it.
No, they took it
I
down.
think they might take it down.
It's Keaha.
In the garage.
No, in the living room, in the soccer field size living room.
You know what I remember? Larry. Larry hanging around a lot, and he ran into the glass window
I left an imprint.
and left an imprint, but he ran into it really hard
Yeah, but I left that imprint on there for a long time.
as a warning.
No, it made me laugh.
What do you remember, Dad?
I remember Uncle Bob and Jim Fiandella coming to audit the church,
They were here for an audit.
and they cleared us with it. But it didn't mention the other guys.
So down this hill, right to the right of those cars, the house that shapes into an L, so that downstairs space was Mom and Dad's room.
Constantino's house, and they were generous enough to let us stay here when we were about to be homeless in between houses. They were going on vacation, and they said that we could stay here. And I was just getting out of the hospital, so I think I went straight. Well, I just know that I had to stay in bed. And I was surrounded by boxes, and I remember the little cold fish.
So we were moving from our sandhills, Halenani home there. We didn't have a place to live. The rental properties available for Maui County were at 0 or lower. Ben and Vicky had planned a family vacation to Florida, Disney World. So they were going to be gone for about 3.5 weeks. And they said, and Ben opened our place. He says you can stay at our place. So we actually had a U-Haul truck rented, and we loaded it all up with all our stuff, brought it here, and for 3 weeks we stayed here. And during the time, during the 3.5 weeks, part of it, Isabel was over at a
You guys were at
TNC
camp.
camp.
Yeah.
The first few
With Leo,
days,
yeah.
Leo and I were at camp.
Yeah.
And when they got home, when they got back to
Aw.
Maui, it was,
Oh, we were on Maui. We were in Kula.
it was kind of a traumatic because we had unloaded all the boxes, and the way the boxes were unloaded, they were right against the wall, so it was like walled in by all the boxes because we had to return the truck.
Yeah.
So,
It was intense.
and this is kind of it was kind of tough because around the second week we started getting phone calls about how long it would be. I think there was some kind of concern
Whether we'd be out or not.
by the time they returned, and we said there's no doubt, make sure we're out of here.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about that. But that was always a concern for the last week and a half, so we just made sure we got out of here.
There were also big Cajun birds. There was.
Here.
Yeah.
I remember, it's gonna sound weird. Tuna sandwiches. Here's the first place Auntie Vicky gave me a tuna sandwich with mustard in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not like a huge detail, but I remember being pretty freaked out.
Did you like it?
Not initially. Now I like it. You remember? Yeah.
No, it was fun to be because I have my friends that were peers hanging out. A kind of weird experience being in their home when they weren't here. Kind of
Yeah.
fun. But then also, it's just a different neighborhood, different kids, only here for a short period of time. You just get dropped in and you survive.
Yep.
You did, yeah.
Thank you, Constantinos.
Thank you, Constantinos. 100%. Yep.
But I knew it was gonna look like this.
Okay, so this is quick because we don't want to creep out the kids who are playing, but this is Uncle Kiala and Auntie Jeanette's place when we stayed with them. And Dad, you want to talk while we drive?
Michelle, how long were we here?
So this was what, Pulu place, or is this Onion Street?
Turning
Just remember that Dad was like busting his butt trying to find us all a place to live. So during the daytime, Were you guys in school?
No, not yet.
I just remember we'd go out looking for places, and or meet with realtors or to find a place, and that's when we started finalizing the plans to get into the skate house. There was always something that was just we're almost in, and then I think one of them was like, well, the paint might be lead paint, and that was like gonna put the brakes on that whole thing. Maybe we wouldn't even get in that lead testing kit. And I remember that we went over and we were just praying that when he put the little, however that thing worked on the sample on the wall, we were just like, oh, he's got lead. And then he did it, and it wasn't lead, and we were like, yes! So.
And this is Maui High School. This is where Dad works. This is where Sunny went to school. Where Leo went to school. Kapu. Leo went to Baldwin for a little bit with me. This is where Dawn taught English for 8 years? 9 years?
She went to high school.
That's where she went to high school. Elementary, grade school.
Her 5th grade teacher came by yesterday.
I saw. Yeah.
We're at the skate house, and it's really bright today, so this is like the only area, plus even all the adjustments on my camera, that we can get somewhat a decent shot. But this is where we landed right after Akopialas and the Constantinos. I think this used to be the fumigation house, yeah?
Terminex.
Or Terminex. So when Dad and Mom brought us here, I remember sitting on the living room floor, Kapu, you'd remember this, and them asking us if, in general, if we'd be up for
Renovating a house.
renovating it. Like, we can get this, but we're gonna have to kind of piece it together. We're gonna have to flip it while living in it. Really, really flip it. So this building over here is the main house. There used to be a garage over here that had the shower, and then we fixed it up too, and that's where the church met. And then this whole apartment complex is totally new. And there used to be like a gravel pit area with a really big wall, and the industrial areas behind us, right?
Yeah, everyone, you should appreciate all the background sounds, because that is the sound of Waia'u Beach Road.
Yes.
Mopeds,
There's a
mufflers,
gas station, a motorcycle shop, some neighbors. There used to be a meth
Pakukalu
house,
store,
Pakukalu store, Jack in the Box.
Uncle
house.
Tim's.
I said the meth house. Yeah, industrial area right behind us. Like we said 3 times.
Meth house?
Yeah. 4 times.
Oh, don't forget the meth house.
But like the noise became very familiar. That's why it's weird when things
Comforting.
are too quiet.
Yeah. Became comforting.
Oh, comforting, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe why like country living sometimes scares me.
Plus, there was a skate park.
There, oh yeah, okay, so that's why it was called the skate house. So all the cement, I don't know if you can catch it, because this back area, there were boxes, there were ramps,
Where that
railings.
house is.
Railings, man, this makes me sound like not a
Quarter
skater.
pipe.
Quarter pipe, the bank. Grand guys would build new toys all the time.
Pyramid.
I would dribble my basketball off the house wall to the garage. If I was really angry, I would
Garage was there, but now it's gone. Ooh, overexposed.
And I do remember Leo and Kikoa, or Keli'i, back in the gravel pit, they would put the lighter fluid in their mouth and spit it out and light it on fire.
Yeah, that's documented.
They also had a band called
Yeah.
Gimpy.
Oh yeah, we have some, many bands were
Mom
started.
did not know about that.
Yes.
I got my sat right in that window at a computer, and that was my first and only email address. They call me melloshell@yahoo.com,
OG.
which I
My
kind
email
of
was
way
the-
too long.
Yeah, mine was May I Be a Servant.
Wow.
I know.
I'm a skater girl.
And when we
Skater.
first got here,
Because I skated for all of 2 weeks.
we had, so the living room, while we were renovating, the living room was just the only place we slept. Everybody just slept in rows. We had probably 10 people in there at some
It was
point.
like a hospital.
And then you'd move room for room after the drywall, the flooring, and to strip the floors. Yeah. Stuff that burnt your butt.
Hey, And Uncle Benny Constantino came in and painted.
Yeah, the
And
last
it turned out a
house-
lot more peachy than we thought,
Yes.
Yes,
but it was
peachy.
painted.
Yes.
I remember we had a gate to the front because we ended up having to have hours, skate park hours. It wasn't at the very front, it was right over here, and we'd like sit on the front porch sides and just watch. That door went to Kapu and I's bedroom.
Hmm.
Remember that door? I don't know if you can just find it.
That door right there with the green lining, well, both of them have them, but straight on. That actually goes straight into the bedroom we lived in.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey, skate house.
Church.
Thanks, Skate House.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, I was right there.
Where there was a church.
Okay, and we're out.
And we're out. So this house looks a lot different than when we lived there. There was this big fence on this side that blocked off that area where that gray car and white SUV. The house itself was like a salmon pink, and it was big. It was big, but we shared it with another family that lived on that left-hand side where those palm trees are. But it was definitely one of the biggest houses we've ever lived in, right? We're just spacious and like a grand way. What do you remember, Dad? This is the pink carpet house.
The house is the same color as the tiles that are on the roof. This is right after we started the skate ministry, so now it is a mobile skate ministry. There's the large living room. So we ran our youth group meetings inside them. We have 20 plus sweaty bodies in there that just came from the skate park. And the year we were here, Toys invited us to go to Soul Survivor, so we took about 20 plus kids to Soul Survivor, and while we were in California, we got a call from the landlord's manager that they were going to sell the house, so we needed to vacate it.
Do you know that Leo and I would mess around when they would bring people into the house to make the house seem less appealing to a new buyer? It was probably not as subtle as we thought it was. We'd say stuff about it being haunted. Kapu mentioned that upper room right here, so I'll zoom in real quick. That was Mom and Dad's room. And there were the blinking lights from the intersection that's just to our left, that you could see the red and green, like through the window, like it would blink all night long. Nah, no need. Sonny, what do you remember?
I
remember you having those pirate tattoos from Disneyland on each of your nipples. You insisted on us applying them.
Yeah, I remember all the skaters. I remember parties that we had, like Christmas party type stuff where we would all get together and play games and hang out. I remember Christmas, one particular Christmas here. I don't know if it's just my memory, but it was like there was so much present, like probably the most presents I've ever seen under a Christmas tree. Remember that?
And they were half for you.
They're all for me. Like, and then there are times where they weren't home, my grandma and dad, and I would go out on the roof, because like from their room, the balcony, I think, the deck, you can jump over and get on the roof. And I was like, yeah, I'm on the roof.
Oh my god.
That was so.
I like how all these things are coming out in this, like, and then this one time.
You had long hair.
I had long hair. Yeah.
Yep.
Good memory.
remember ding dong, 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 ding dong. And I went to the door and it was like 8 or 9 skaters going, let us in, the cops are after us. So they came in and they sat down. And I remember that at this light, everybody and their dog, as they sit at that light, looks over and stares at that house.
Yep.
So I thought it might be a good idea. Maybe sometime I should go out on the deck up
Naked.
there and naked and do the windows. I never did that.
And then put out a tip jar. If you're gonna look, at least leave a tip.
I remember it raining really, 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 really hard one day, and Kapu going outside in that big mango tree with the treehouse, and then all these little Japanese finches were just falling out of the tree, like dying. Like, I don't know what was happening, and she just kept coming in with them in her hands, going, "We gotta help these birds." Anyway, it was pretty sad. But yeah, that's what I remember.
Can you tell if it's focused? I remember we had a staircase. I thought that was pretty grand, right? And at the top of the staircase was like a little, I'm gonna call it a loft. It was like a mini living room, yeah? That felt grand, and I had my own room, and I think I had my own bathroom.
You did.
Like it had 2 doors, like one of them went into my room and the other one was public. So people would use it, but it felt, I had my own room. And I remember it was like probably the first time where I had like a boy like me that I knew of. And then I went to like senior luau, and I really wanted to walk down the stairs like in a dress or something. I didn't end up like doing that whole thing, but I remember thinking of the mental picture, like, this is what they do in the movies. Like the guy shows up, stands at the bottom of the stairs, and you walk down and he goes, "Wow, you look amazing." But I think I went and picked him up. My memory is Kikoa bombing the hill with the Yo guys that's just around the corner by MAUI HAWAII and the Filipino Community Center. Eating crap, eating speed wobbles, and scraped his eyelids. Do you remember that? He had scabs and he showed up at the house and he had scratches all over his face. Kikoa. Anyways, this is the pink carpet house. Favorite memory that's not really deep but makes me chuckle to this day is Derek Vega getting his head stuck in the banister. Do you remember that? He stuck his head through the stairway. It was like, "Ah!" And then couldn't get it out. And Dad said, "Leave him." This is Niho, the one with the blue tarp in front of it. That's the house. It didn't used to have all those plants in the front or the fence.
Yeah.
What do you remember?
What do I remember? I remember Dad finding this place, and when we got here, I was not impressed. It was pretty beat up, and I was like, oh my gosh. But there was a housing shortage, and so you couldn't be picky. And Dad took us here, and we went in, and there was a bunch of people, and there was a line of people wanting to see it. The landlord had just bought it to flip, and he had a clipboard on the counter. We left, we just looked through it, walked around the house, and then there's about 20 names in front of ours, and I was like, oh, we're never gonna get in here. But it said to put someone that you know as a referral. We picked Uncle Miles, and we wrote it down, and then what I remember is as we walked down the driveway, I think the guy looked at to see what our referral was, and then he kind of called us back and said, "You know Miles?" And we were like, and I was like,
Yes.
So, I think that's, a God thing. We got in. I remember Wanda Jean Blondo saying, "We have to paint it." And I was like, I have no energy to paint. And she said, "I'll buy the paint and I'll help." And so I was very thankful that we did throw a layer of paint on all the walls. And, that's my first memories. Sonny, you got memories?
Good memories, a lot of fun. I remember a lot about this. Like I started remembering things.
Isn't this when you first moved back from Portland?
Yep.
So you disappeared for, like, even the pink carpet house.
Off and on.
You
I
were
was
there
back,
off and on.
just visiting. But yeah, this is where I moved back and stayed. But old neighbors, I would say that this place is where what would become years of heartache started in this house. So that's my memory of it. But it's not like a this place. But I remember that like it was that time of life that I learned how to do things that I shouldn't do. And
This is where you decided to go to Warner.
Yeah, I avoided calls from Warner for a few months. I think her name was Stephanie. She kept calling, asking if I was still interested in school. And I was like, there's this... On one hand, Dad
We wanted you to
would
stay.
work so hard. He'd work so hard. I'd work so hard to go. But there was so much to stay for. I never thought about... It was hard to weigh the cost of leaving. Yes, what I would gain, but I was just so afraid that I would lose, the time and the people. And then I felt like that was a really pivotal moment, but I ended up going to Warner. This is why I came home every time.
Well, I think you only slept in that bedroom a couple times, but we called it Beau's room.
I think I was there for at least a month where it was my room.
Yeah.
I came home to this place. When Tyson and I got married, this is where his family met our family. This is where you met Tyson.
That's
And we
right.
slept in the living room with all of us.
This is Aiden's first house.
So Nihoa was the house that I would come back to every time I got back from college. This is where Tyson met my family, and he slept on a futon in the living room next to probably Sunny, Ian, Tiana. I think he slept like perpendicular to Tiana
Yes.
and myself, and
We did a lot of
it's
that.
like a culture. I was like, this cultural, but also just socioeconomic and family, and like when you have lots of people and not a lot of space, you make do. I know at the garage or the carport was also like a second living room with a community closet. I remember a lot of people asking you and Dad to live here, which was always baffling to me because I'm like, don't you see how many people live here? I remember the bathroom that everyone used, the one that wasn't in the Ohana unit that either Leo, Brian guys used or Don Thompson and Brandon Thompson guys used. But that one bathroom had like the window and the lattices to the carport. So if you pooped, everyone knew. Do you remember that? Yep. Remember, yeah. I remember you guys FaceTiming me in the carport during a holiday, during a party, and you put me like on a computer, Dad, on a chair, and everyone was grabbing food from the tables. I think Grandma Haveo was even there, and I was just a floating head. But that's what it felt like in college. Is like
But you were there.
this is where I felt like we'd always be, because that's even like where Tyson stayed, and when I got married, that was our home base, and yeah. And the neighborhood kids, I remember Rusty not having socks.
Right. They would all sit outside against that wall and wait for you to wake up because they wanted to play with you when you were home for the summer.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, I thought they didn't like me at first.
No, you got to know them, and then
They were small, by the way. This wasn't like
yeah. They
these
were
weren't
like first
peers.
graders. But I would get up in the morning and I would go into the kitchen and look out the sliding glass door, and there'd be these 3 or 4 kids sitting against the wall, and I'd come out and go, "Are you guys okay? What, is Isabel up?" And I'd be like, "No, she's not up yet." And they were just waiting for you because you would play with them. Yeah, you.
I don't know if it's so noble. It wasn't like I had friends.
you had fun.
They were wonderful. I mean, they were actually really
Yeah.
difficult, but they were wonderful.
Yeah.
They would fight so easily.
Try to keep a lot of different people alive.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of different seasons. We had seasons where it was Leo, Brano, Baniaga in that one room. And so we had, that would be 26 and 28-year-old and a 16-year-old learning to live together, same schedules, different work routines, and learning to just get along and not kill each other. And at the same time, learn to love each other. And then there's keeping your presence there by it being your room, but letting other people be in it. So there's a lot of times when it was middle room was, in your absence, was a room for Kim Finney was in there for a while while we're spotting them up. And then Mario's bride-to-be at that time, but was not bride-to-be, living in there. One of Don's expatriates. And then a couple with her rabbit in the corner. And then one couple went to college, and Linda moved in there. That was with her. And even Sonny, when when Brandon and Don came, and Ada was born, Sonny was living with us in our bedroom. We had multiple people living in the living room, on the couches, on the floor, and of course, the living room wouldn't be the living room without having the ficus plant in it and all the centipedes in it. A lot of stuff happened in a very small space.
Yeah.
Shared our family with them. I had a hard time with that. I didn't want to share. I wanted to have something for myself, but that was part of the blessing to be shared, I guess, with everybody. So. Yeah, that's about it.
So we're standing outside of 257 Mohalu Street, which is the house that we ended up buying. And it has 10 bedrooms that we thought we might fill someday, which are always full. And as big as it is, thinking that we have plenty of room, there's always more room we could use. So we're very grateful for how God put together a plan to get this house and the friends that we had supported us in that. And we've been here for, I don't know, how many years have we been here?
Since Kapu got married.
You know how many years that is? Since Kapu got married. I want to say 8 or 9 years. So, 257 Mohalu.
Just drove by. Alright.
Okay, sorry.